I mentioned earlier that if you're doing a transmission swap like this with a 700R4 or a 204R that has a lockup torque converter, you're going to need a way to run that converter if you're putting it in an older vehicle that doesn't have an onboard computer. That's what we're doing. There's a lot of kits on the market to help with that. We're using one from Painless Performance. I like this kit because it uses a vacuum switch, and the vacuum switch is going to help to make it operate more like it would in a factory application. Some of the kits that are on the market just lock the converter up when the transmission shifts into fourth gear, and that can be a little abrupt. The vacuum switch is going to help with that. This kit also has all the other parts you need to do this. It's got another fourth gear pressure switch. It's got a new torque converter lockup solenoid. It's got the harness to go with it. It also has a new brake pedal switch, because to do this you need the double switch. That's here with the harness, the plug for the case connect. It comes with a new case connect as well, which just fits right in place of the original, and the brackets to mount the vacuum switch and the hardware you'll need. So it's kind of complete, and of course it's got a new gasket. So we'll show you how this goes together when Junior starts putting it in the transmission. All right, the transmission is bolted in. That leaves us to get the Painless torque converter control kit installed. So I'm going to man the instruction sheet. Junior's going to dive in.
I'll man the ratchet. Now, one of the good things about us moving the cross member back, and we didn't really have the foresight of it at the time, is we can get to the pan bolts. Oh. If we had tried to use the factory holes, there's no way we could have taken the pan off. So we lucked out there.
All right, so you got to pull the filter off.
All right, I believe these just push up in.
Yeah, it just comes, it's got an O-ring holding it in.
The O-ring is still up in there.
So this is a pressure switch that came in the kit. There's already one in there. We have to swap it out. And it looks like we might have to remove some other stuff to get it out of the way to get that switch out of there.
Yeah, the servo cover.
Okay, so we're gonna pull down that servo cover to give us a clear shot at the pressure switch that's in there already. You have to use a socket on it, and it's better to use the socket than to try to wrestle out with pliers or something and screw something up, so.
So this servo does have a fairly strong spring in it, so you do want to hold up on the cover so it all doesn't come flying out in your face. So there is a spring in there. It's not real long, but it does have some tension on it, so just be aware of that. So that's an 1/16", and the only one I have is this, ouch, this old bronze wrench. I don't even have an 1/16" socket, but.
Is it bronze because it was intended for something?
I assume it's spark proof or something. I don't know. I acquired this thing so long ago, I don't even remember where I got it. I think I just got it in a tool lot that I purchased, but it's funny.
So
if it works.
If you're going to be working on your 700R4, get yourself a bronze wrench that looks like something from a Model T toolkit.
1/16". Yeah, there's no sealant on there to begin with. I mean, it is a pipe thread, so yeah, it should seal itself.
The transmission is going to lock up the converter only in fourth gear now. In a factory application, these lock the converter in third and fourth. But again, that would be if you had an onboard computer to run it. Fourth gear is where you really need it. Again, to make sure the converter isn't slipping excessively when the transmission goes into overdrive.
It went that way, right?
Do you want to?
No, that way. Just putting the servo cover back on, and I already forgot which way it went, so I had to figure that out.
So we're not going to plug the wire back into the switch that Junior just installed because we're actually changing the whole wiring harness that's in here. But we will not do that until we get to our next step, which is going to be the torque converter solenoid switch. That's another part that is already there, but we're changing it to a different one. All right, next step is the original torque converter clutch solenoid has to be removed. And the wiring harness that's in here that we need to take out is permanently attached to that. So the solenoid has to come out, and then the wire will come down with it.
Basically strip the whole harness right out of it,
Yep.
right?
So while he's pulling that out of there, here's the new one, and it has this neck that goes up into the trans, which he's pulling out now. You can see that. There's the old one, and now the harness should be able to be threaded out.
Make sure the O-ring does come out with it.
Plug in. There's a new case connector, the part where the wiring harness passes through the case. So the old one will come out, we'll press the new one in and connect the new harness to it. Old case connector, new case connector. I thought because the kit included a new one that it would be different, but it's actually the same. But it's probably good that we got a new one anyway. Right?
Yeah, the problem with these is over time the plastic can shrink, and transmission fluid can actually go through the pins and out the other end. Not a common thing with this style, but it can happen. So we're just going to change it anyways and minimize that from happening.
But you got a bunch of RTV up in the hole.
Yeah, again, because these shrink, and even if you put a new O-ring on, sometimes they still won't seal, so.
That's what somebody before us.
RTV's the backup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully this one will just seal up with the new O-ring.
Yep. Make sure that's pointed out.
So it can only go one way.
Can only go one way. And it just clicks in. Definitely want to hear that click.
Okay, so next up.
There we go. Laughing at instructions.
Yep. The instructions say to attach the single black wire with the red connector to the new fourth gear pressure switch. There's no red connector.
No, but there's a black wire.
Yeah.
We'll go with the black wire. We're just trying to reuse the old wire loom. Hold that up out of the way. There. We'll run that up and over that tube. The wire where it was before. And that pushes up in the case connector.
Yep. All right, so the red wire goes to the case connector that we just popped in, and once that's back on, the pan goes back, well, the filter goes on, and then the pan will go back on. Just once the transmission part of it is finished, you've still got to install the vacuum switch, which is external, and we'll have to find a place on the engine to draw vacuum from, and then there's the brake light switch that we got to swap in, and a little bit more wiring.
But that's all.
That's all top side.
That's all up top. And we're putting the filter that was in this right back in, because this did go down to the transmission shop and it had a complete once through. And so there's no point in changing it. That filter hasn't even been used. Nope. That way. Maybe?
No.
Nope.
Got a hole right here in the corner.
So,
Nope.
no?
Maybe flip.
There it is.
That's it.
RTV is really not necessary. Probably the biggest thing you want to do is just make sure that your pan is flat. If some monkey is over tighten the holes, the bolts, and blowing these out, you just want to take a little hammer and tap them flat again. You just want to make sure the surface is flat. Don't need a ton of torque, because this, especially on the cork and just the cheap black rubber gaskets, you can actually split the gasket by over tightening it. So
This pan seems like it's in nice shape because I'm guessing that Mark at
Yeah.
the transmission shop already went around and tapped everything back into place.
Just get a few started. And make sure your gasket hasn't fallen inside.
All right, the vacuum switch has to go somewhere up near the engine, the firewall, anywhere you want to put it really, according to the instructions. It comes with 2 different brackets, and I've already mounted one, and of course, it looks like we need to use the other one, so I'm going to swap it over. We're going to put this bracket on the back of the cylinder head, because we kind of know that Glenn is going to want this switch out of sight.
Next, we plug in our connector here to our case fitting. And our one purple wire is going to go up to our vacuum switch, which is going to go on the back of the cylinder head.
So the only thing left for the painless kit is the brake light switch. So we'll do that top side, but we have the trans lines to put in.
Oh yeah, and the torque converter cover, but that's easy.
These cooler lines are supposed to be 4/700 swap in one of these trucks, so hopefully just got to take the shipping bend out. Hopefully that.
Always the shipping bend.
And hopefully they'll fit right up in there, and then I think we can come down.
All right, so now we just need to change our factory brake light switch with this one, which will have the factory brake light switch on here, and then our torque converter lockup control here. And the beauty of this setup, I believe the factory plug will go right into this. Crawl under here, take the old one out. Better than a Corvette, I'll tell you that much.
We don't use that word in here.
Is that now a 4-letter word? Vet is a 4-letter word?
Yeah.
Brake and off. Okay, you want me to tell you when they're coming on?
Sure.
Go ahead. On, off.
Perfect.
Okay, so what we're doing here is that new brake pedal switch that Junior just put in is actually a double switch. It's going to turn the brake lights on, of course, but it's also going to interrupt power to the torque converter clutch. Normally on a car that came with a lockup converter, when you step on the brake, it unlocks the converter, and that switch is part of how it does it. The switch is the same one that's used on cruise control cars. It's a GM style switch. It fit right into the bracket under there. We were a little concerned about that. And it has an adjustment on it, so we just wanted to get it set so that the lights come on when they should. And it looks like it's all working correctly.